Texting. Trash. So a couple weeks ago, right, I made this video titled Why I Don't DM Girls Anymore. And in the video, I went in depth on like the idea of DMing a girl, like the power dynamic of when you DM a girl. I went through kind of all of that, but like I didn't really go through like the actual like logistics of you texting a girl, like the dynamic between you texting a girl and you just going back and forth through text and just typing out your messages and shit. And in this video, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a part two to that video, but it kind of expands upon more of a broad sense of just texting in general, just communicating, like just the form of communication in general when it comes to people, especially girls, but like when it comes to people in general. And I can easily attest that texting is terrible. I hate texting. Like, if you know me, you know I don't text like that. I do not enjoy texting. I cannot comprehend the idea of how people enjoy just sitting there and texting someone on the phone frequently. Like, is it not boring at all? Like, do you find any excitement just sitting there just typing out messages to another person instead of you actually speaking to each other? And in this video, I'm gonna expand on why I think texting is weird, and I do genuinely think that texting is something that is out unnatural. Like, it's very unnatural, and like it's just me texting. I only text on like a few occasions, and yeah, like I said, in this video, I'm gonna go through why texting is ass and why I don't really like texting. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can resonate with this because there's actually a good amount of people that just don't enjoy texting. And people might like wonder, like, how do you not like texting? Because texting is just trash overall. Why would I text you, bro? Like, why would I text you? But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning, and let me just break it down from part to part. I have 4 reasons why texting is just really inconvenient and just something that I just don't like to do that often. But I text when I have to text, but it's just something I just don't really enjoy doing, you feel me? So I'm gonna break it down so from one point to another, and I'm just gonna guide you through why I came up, not why I came up with these points, but why I feel this way and how these points relate to just me communicating with people in general. So point number 1, texting is time consuming. There is no way on God's green earth you expect me to type out a full body paragraph of a message and send it to someone and be going back and forth just like that. There is no way. Texting takes up way too much time. Like, you have to keep in mind, people have lives outside of texting. Like, people have their own lives. People have a job. People probably go to school. People have to be with their family and all that. You feel me? People have a life. And with that in mind, knowing people have lives outside of texting and people are probably busy, the amount of time it'll take for you to get through a whole conversation with someone, like through top and bottom, like go through an entire conversation just strictly through texting, it could take, honestly, days. It could easily take days to go through an entire conversation with someone, just one conversation, but just strictly texting, because people have to do other things, and there's just going to be there's going to be constantly time periods where people are just not going to text each other because they have other things to do outside of texting, versus you actually getting on the phone with someone. Like, the time it'll take for you to go through a whole conversation via text, that amount of time, like, it could probably take upwards of a day. That time could get shortened down to like 3 minutes on the phone. Like, it saves so much more time just you talking to someone, y'all just verbally going back and forth through the phone. And you can save so much time just talking to someone on the phone, because when you're on the phone, there's not that absent space of people going hours or people going a long period of time without interacting, because everything's just like this, it's just a flowing conversation. And someone like me, I value my time so much, bro. I value my time so much because I only have 24 hours in a day. I need to use my 24 hours wisely. It's timely inconvenient. Like, there's no way you expect me to go through an entire conversation with someone that will take a whole day if I do it through text, versus I could do it through the phone in like 3 minutes, 2, 3 minutes. And it's like, it just saves so much more time, and I need that time so I can do other things that are more important than talking to your dumb ass. So point number two, texting is not an effective way of communicating. Like, you're not going to be able to use those, nonverbal skills, like the nonverbal communication skills. You're not going to be able to use that through texting, because all you're seeing is words on the screen, and those words are something that you have to interpret. Like, a lot of of that nonverbal communication just gets lost. Like, the words get lost in translation, and you're taking the words at face value. You might misinterpret what someone's trying to say if they're not using emojis. That most someone might have when they're texting you a certain message does not get conveyed. Like, there's just a whole bunch of things that you just won't feel, and you just won't consider, because all you're seeing is literally just words. You're just seeing words. All you can see is what someone is specifically saying. And because of that, a lot of things get lost in translation, and overall it's just not the most effective way of communicating. Actually, I think, like, statistically speaking, it's like 70% of communication is nonverbal, and without that 70% of nonverbal communication, you have to use other ways for you to understand what the person is trying to say, and I actually get a feel for what the person is trying to say. So, like I said, you have to use emojis. You might have to use capital letters. You might, space out your letters differently. You might start typing like Playboy Cardi. I don't know what you have to do, but you're gonna have to convey in a different way of you expressing how the message you're trying to put forth by other means if you're texting. But like I say, if you're talking to someone on the phone or in real life, you get a much more variety of ways to of interpreting someone's like message. You got their body language, you get their facial expressions, you get you get small things, you get like tone of voice, you get the word, like I said, you get the word choices that they use, you get the speed of how they're talking, you get a whole bunch of things that you just simply just do not get through text. You just see the words, and the person that's reading it, it all 100% depends on how they interpret the message. Third reason why I do not like texting, because uh, I have to now think about what I have to say. And I know that might sound good on paper, but like, the way I like to communicate and talk and just do shit, I'm really just just on the fly type person. I just do things just on the go, just a fast paced person. You feel me? And I don't really like to like think too much about what I'm doing. And with texting, now I have to think about the words I'm using, how long my messages are, the which word I should like switch out, which word I should use, how long I should wait until I reply. But in real life, none of that really matters. And as long as you have substance to what you're saying makes sense, and like just have good nonverbal communication skills and all that, really, you can, all that shit just does not apply. None of that applies, and you just do whatever you want, say whatever you want, and other person is gonna receive it in most likely in a positive way. And of course, the most important thing is listening. Like, if you have good listening skills, you really should not be having trouble coming up with things to say, because you're listening to the other person, and you can feed off the thing that they just last said. So yeah, listening is important. You actually come up with more stuff to say when you're not really thinking too hard about what to say. Like, the more you start thinking about, oh, what should I say next, that's when you actually start running out of things, because the energy, you're not relying on the energy of the conversation to guide you to the next thing you should say. You're now using your brain, like, okay, I should do this instead. Like, I should maybe you're trying to calculate a conversation, but a conversation should not be calculated. A conversation should just be easy flowing. It's just you talk, next person talking. You listen, and the other person listen. And that's really what it is. Last reason I don't like texting is because it damages social skills. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all met people like this in your life, but do y'all meet people that I met in my life that, through text, they have hella energy, they're really expressive, but when you meet them in real life, they're like shy and like I mean, there's nothing wrong with being shy, but like, my nigga, like you are not the same person I was texting like a day ago. What the hell happened? People develop a personality through social media and texting and stuff, and they start to forget that that's not the real world. That's not real life, and they just abandon this. They abandon the skills it takes to actually hold a conversation. A lot of people nowadays, surprisingly, do not know how to hold a conversation at all. They do not have no substance of what they're talking about. That like they cannot hold a conversation at all, and that's because people are like living behind the screens. People are living behind, social media and they're just texting, and they can just think about what they have to say instead of just actually living and just interacting with people on a day-to-day basis. But of course, if you have all the time in the world to text, you trying to think of the best thing to text and just you not having, the proper, communication skills, of course you're gonna end up not knowing what to say in real life when you actually get put in a situation to talk to people, because like you never been put in an environment to do that because you've just been so reliant on texting and just using your phone to be able to talk to people. But of course, texting has its pros. Despite what I say in this video, me not liking the texting definitely has its ups. And if you like texting, continue to like texting and continue to text people and shit. Like, for example, texting, let's say you're too busy for you to actually have a proper like conversation on the phone with someone, so you just hit them with a quick text. Like, it's just something a little quick right here. That's cool because like you don't have to dedicate your full undivided attention into texting someone, but you can still like talk to them kind of. Or like you're in a situation where you can't even just talk on the phone. Let's say it's like, I don't know, like you're in church or something. Like, I don't know why you're on the phone during church, but like, let's say you're in church and you can't call that person right then and there. So like, you just hit them with a quick text or something. So like, things like that. So texting definitely has its pros, but I'm just saying overall, I don't text. Like, it's just overall, I just don't enjoy texting, bro. But that's how I'm feeling, bro. And just let me know if y'all like texting, let me know why. If y'all don't like texting, just let me know why. If it's the same reason why I don't like texting, that's what's up. But yeah, appreciate y'all for watching this video. Be easy, everyone.